Good morning, AO. Shelley Merrell here from Integrated Fire and Safety. I own a fire protection company in Ventura, California. I hope you all are doing well. I am here to answer some questions, give my perspective on, some various questions that you guys have submitted through the month. We love getting these questions, so please make sure and keep submitting. It helps us keep this all going. So anyway, I'm going to dig right on into this. The first one is from Ricardo Delgado. How can I incentivize employees to stay longer with my company? The background is I own and operate a barber business. I feel like I can find a way to give the employees stock shares or bonuses that would incentivize them to stick around more and grow the business. If there's any strategies that have worked out there, I would like to hear about them. Thank you. I think I answered this last month, Ricardo. So what I was thinking about on this question was whether or not some of the responsibilities that you are doing every day, maybe you could delegate those out to particular employees that you want to keep around and help empower them and make them feel like they're more of the company. I caution giving out shares of stocks, and I mentioned that in my last session. I just caution around that because it can lead to it can lead to some potential problems. Of course, it's your company. You can do whatever you want to do. I know I was a 5% owner in this company before I bought it and took it over. And that was fine and good, but there was another 5% owner that I ended up having to come up with the money to buy him out. And, it just kind of muddies the waters. I don't know if they become, more incentivized to stick around because of that. But I feel like if they feel valued and appreciated and that you're grateful that they are an employee and maybe investing in their training, which I think I mentioned in the last one too, investing in future training and stuff like that, I would think would be enough to keep somebody relatively happy from looking from bailiffship. So that's my take on that. The next question is from Rohit Gupta. Hi Rohit, it's good to have you back. Question, is it necessary to have your core values, mission, and vision statement and your why visible for customers to see? We are getting a storefront in a couple months and wondered if this will make customers loyal to the brand. Well, I think what makes customers, in my opinion, I think what makes customers loyal to the brand is the way the customer feels after they have had a transaction with somebody from your team. Having your core values, your mission statement, vision statement, and your why visible for customers to see is always a good idea. You can do some kind of fun artwork and just have it there, but I'm not sure that will cause the customer to be more loyal to you. I think it's a great idea to have it out there so that it's in your employees' faces at all times. That's just my opinion. But as far as causing the customer to be loyal, I think that's always going to go back to the customer service and how that customer feels. That's my opinion on that one. Let's see here. I can't tell. I think I'm live, so we'll find out. Okay. I have another question from Ricardo Delgado. How does a company do employee annual reviews? How would a small business approach this to employees when it's never been done? I own and operate a barbershop and want to start doing employee reviews. I want to approach this correctly. Any advice is appreciated. I believe I answered this one in the last session as well. And so there's many HR companies out there that can provide a template that you can follow to do an annual review. When you approach this with your employees, I would, in my experience, I would actually put it out like in an employee meeting and say that this is the direction we're going. We're going to start doing these reviews so that we can give you, the employee, feedback on the things you're doing great, the things that might need some help or some work. And typically if you put it out there ahead of time and let their brain kind of wrap around the fact that this is going to be the way things are going to be done, it tends to have more buy-in than if it's just, oh, surprise, we're doing an annual review. Sometimes annual reviews scare certain people. Not even necessarily that they've done anything wrong, but it's almost like taking a final exam. That's been my experience. People tend to get really nervous about that, or employees, I should say, tend to get really nervous about their annual reviews. And one thing about annual reviews that I've learned is always try to end it on a positive note. Ask them, what can I do to help you be a more successful employee or to be successful, or how would you like to see processes or systems improving over this next year. Give them a little bit of time for feedback as well. And that always seems to be, you always want to take it in a positive level, you know what I'm saying? You always kind of want to end it on a positive note so that they're not feeling so bad about themselves. Hopefully that helps. And there are, if you have an HR consultant local in your area that you've ever talked to, a lot of times they do have those templates, and you can take a template and customize it to be more specific to the things you want to ask. What are your key parameters, key employee indicators and whatnot. You can actually take that and make your own. But that'll give you a starting point. The next question's from Carrington Crothers. Is it ever beneficial to pursue a second business idea while still building out your current business? Background is I currently am working to grow and learn to expand my current product photography business. I know I am notorious for always wanting to do more, and my creative mindset is always thinking, and the gears are always turning. Does the potential opportunity to pursue another business idea hinder the growth of my current business? Or if not, when is it worth looking into different avenues to work alongside my photography business? Thanks. Okay, so I have the same problem, Carrington. I definitely do. I want to do 5 million things and only have time to do like maybe 3 million. So what I would look at if I were you is your time available. Do you have the time available? Is your current business doing so well that you have the time available to start the second thing? Who knows? The second thing may take off and overtake the first thing. You may end up selling off the first thing and continuing on with the second thing. If you have the time and money to invest in it, and it's something you really want to do, then do it. If say 1 or 2 months down the road, you find that it's hurting your core business, then you can readjust at that point. But I would never just say, oh yeah, no, don't pursue that because you don't have time or whatever. You have to judge that for yourself. If you've got that time and that money, then definitely do what you want to do. I hope that helps. Ricardo Delgado again. How do you weigh the cost and returns with how many events and conferences you should attend within your industry to build relationships and get industry knowledge? I own and operate a barbershop business. I feel like it's necessary to always look to build relationships in my industry. I want to attend as many events as possible, but sometimes I'm not sure I am getting a return. How can I better measure this? That's a very good question. I go to a lot of, well, I haven't this year because of my neck surgery, but I go to a lot of events, and I really truly believe that you get what you put into it. If you're making those contacts and then never talking to them again, then your return on investment is going to feel like a negative. But if you are making those connections and establishing relationships, and actually maybe once a month or once a quarter you reach out to that person and stay kind of within their sphere of people they communicate with, then your return on investment would be really good. People like Jonathan Habercorn may have an answer to this on how to actually quantify and measure that. I don't have that answer, and I've never actually even tried to look into it. I just kind of go with my gut. I talk to the people who I feel give me value and that I can give value to. And those are the people that I associate with all the time. That I'm not quite sure. Maybe Jonathan can give you a quantitative answer to that. But I hope that helps. Like, I think you've been in the industry long enough that your gut probably tells you quite a bit about who is a good contact to have and who is not. Okay, Carrington. What are ways to incentivize word of mouth referrals? I run a product photography agency, and whether it's through a current client or networking, what are good ways to incentivize people who share your information? Are there different techniques for different types of connections, such as current client versus non-client, local networking relationships, etc.? With an actual product, what I've seen a lot of people do is they will often run like some sort of a contest or a discount. It could be that people have a way to, when they contact you, I'm assuming there's like an intake form to get that information from that person. Have it put on there like referred by who. And then you could even have like a contest. Trying to think this through, sorry. You could have some sort of a contest where if a person has referred 20 people, like they're going to get a 10% certificate or discount or something like that. Product photography agency. Yeah, really the only things that I have seen out there are discounts. That like the refer a friend discounts that you see all over the place. That might be the way to do it. Does your CRM allow you to track that? Does your intake form have that referred by so that you can take all of those referred bys and then maybe reach out to the person who did the referring and have a conversation with them and give them a thank you or something like that. I'm not quite sure. But those are a few things I would be looking at. I would definitely look at what other companies are doing and just copy that and do it that way. Okay, the next question's from Kristen Pitts. How do I ask a client for a deposit on a bulk order? Background: I am a startup golf apparel wholesaler with limited cash flow. I am selling clothing to golf course pro shops. I also work a second job as the COO for my dad's golf business, where we buy from vendors for 10 golf course pro shops. The vendors only collect from my dad's business 30 to 90 days after shipment. No deposits needed. Being that I am a startup, I need a deposit in order to place in order to place an order with my manufacturer. How can I get new buyers to trust me to make a deposit on a bulk order of my clothing? I have sales reports from my first year in business and can show that I am in my dad's 10 shops. Basically, when a customer contacts you and they reach out, you have that conversation about what it is they're looking for, and I'm assuming you give them an estimate. Somewhere on that estimate, I would definitely have it noted that you require whatever percentage on this order as a deposit. Be careful, check with your state laws, because if I remember correctly, the state laws will tell you what you can and can't ask for deposits on. Especially with these, if you're doing clothing stuff, I would assume that that's a custom order. And I believe, well, in my state, when it's a custom order, I believe you can ask for 50%. We've started taking deposits in on when we are putting together an estimate to design a system for a person. If they approve that, they have to give us a 50% deposit. And we don't do anything on the labor, but we do 50% on the materials. And that's what our state allows. But you definitely want to stick with your state laws. But I think as long as you just say, oh, it requires it. It requires it. I have to order it. I have to do whatever customizing to it. That kind of stuff. I think that if you start out as that is your way of doing business, that's just your company policy, then you tell them our company policy is 50% deposit on orders. And I don't think that's too out of line. I mean, anything you order nowadays, especially if it's custom, people are accustomed to having to put a deposit down. So I don't see why you would have too much pushback on that, because it's really not uncommon. So anyway, I hope that helps. That is all of my questions for this time. Yeah, that's it. So anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the month and a great day. Keep smashing those goals.